Hey there, fellow Christian YouTubers. Today I wanted to talk to you about Billy Graham. Some Christians out there are saying that he's a false prophet or a false teacher. You know, that's fine. I mean, you can believe in what you want to believe with the guy. He did compromise in his ministry. However, I don't think he's a false teacher, or a false prophet. Um, And the reason why I don't believe that is because I don't believe there is any perfect Christianity out there in this world. There's no perfect ministry. There's no perfect evangelist or pastor or missionary. There's no perfect Christians in this world. And, that's hard to understand, for some people. Some people think that, we have to be perfect. Um, but the reality is, and there's people that are not thinking about this, the reality is we are not perfect. There is no perfect Christian. It doesn't exist. So Billy Graham to me is not a false teacher. Now I was driving down the road today and I just think I got a word of knowledge or a word of wisdom. I don't know what you want to call it, from the Holy Spirit. And, you know, um, I do believe in the gifts of the Spirit. I'm not a charismatic, but I do believe in the gifts of the Spirit. And so the question is, what's a false teacher? And I think it's real simple. A false teacher is when somebody is teaching doctrine, okay, and it's heresy. And and the reason why it's heresy is because when people are following and believing in what that person teaches to the T, okay, they are not going to heaven. They're going to go to hell. They're being deceived, okay? They're being taught a different gospel, and it's not the gospel of God. If you check First Thessalonians, let's see here, chapter 2, verse 2, uh, it says in there the gospel of God. Okay, the gospel is God's gospel. In John 3:16, a lot of people have heard that verse. If you believe in the only begotten Son, you shall not perish but have everlasting life. I know that's not perfect, but you could look it up. Okay, so a false teacher leads people away from Jesus Christ. So I mean, to me, Billy Graham didn't do that. If you have read Billy Graham's books and you went to his crusades and you accepted Jesus Christ, okay, and you were taught some doctrine by Billy Graham, I don't think his teachings are going to lead you away from the truth. You know, I believe if you were to follow his teachings to the T, and you don't have to because he wasn't perfect. I don't know if anybody's perfect, but if you were to follow his teachings to the T, I believe you would not end up in hell. You would end up saved. So how can a person who's leading people to Jesus, okay, be a false teacher? It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. Even though there was some compromises, no one's perfect. At the end of the day, Billy Graham got the job done. He preached the gospel. And that's what really matters the most. He wasn't a cult leader like Joseph Smith or the guy that started the Jehovah's Witness movement, or he's not the Pope of the Catholic Church. There's a lot of Catholics, that do believe in God. And I know Billy Graham was kind of doing some things, with the Catholic Church, and some Christians see that as, compromising. However, there's a lot of Catholics that do turn to the gospel of God and they become born again Christians. Okay, they leave Catholicism and they become born again Christians. So no, I don't think Billy Graham is a false teacher. And I think a false teacher is someone working against God, is someone who's an imposter, who comes as if they're sent by God to preach the gospel. And people are buying into it, they're believing it, but it's total heresy. And those people, if they believe it and follow it, they're going to hell. That's a false teacher. It's a person who is sent in by Satan, a person who's deceived himself and is a tool of Satan. So anyway, that's my view. And, I believe the Holy Spirit gave me a word of knowledge about that, maybe even a word of wisdom to go along with it, But anyway, YouTube Christians, God bless you. And, I hope this helps. And, if you find this video to be helpful and you want to, send it out to your friends, please do, because I don't know if anybody's going to watch this. It's only by the grace of God. So, but anyway, thank you. And, God bless you.